Thank you, Mr. Gribner. I will now recognize myself for 5 minutes of questions. GAO found 17 of the 51 unsustainable air traffic control systems are critical, yet investments to modernize some of these won't be completed for more than a decade. Worse, as of May 2024, there wasn't even any modernization investment underway for 4 of these systems. Mr. Walsh, how worried should we be about these 4 critical and unsustainable systems for which there weren't any modernization investments underway?
So as myself and the other witnesses have said, the national airspace is safe. It is safe to fly. But this is stressing the system, and the longer we wait, the worse it will get. So I am worried, but again, still safe to fly.
Thank you. Mr. Capelli, how worried are air traffic controllers about unsustainable critical air traffic control systems for which there were no modernization investments underway?
Well, I'll reiterate what has been said. The national airspace system is safe. We represent 15,000 professional, trained, dedicated air traffic controllers who will do everything they can to maintain the safety of the system. They are the fail-safe, along with the pilots and the technicians to oversee it. So very similar to Mr. Walsh, we believe the system is safe. We are obviously concerned about a number of these issues, not the least of which is the FTI network. But as far as the systems go, we'd like to work with the FAA. We've talked to the FAA about working with them in addressing those issues, and we'll continue to do so.
I feel that it is the personnel, the air traffic controllers, and the pilots who are keeping us safe despite systems and technology that keeps going further and further behind, and you're having to adjust more and more in order to keep the flying public safe. Would that be an accurate statement?
That is an accurate statement.
Thank you. I see you're nodding, Captain Ambrosi. Would you like to comment on this? And how do pilots feel about these aging systems and systems that don't have plans to be updated?
Well, as my colleagues have said, the system is safe. But we've never been happy with current safe. If we said in the 1980s that we're safe, but we're safe enough, think of how many accidents we'd be enduring today. So you can never say we're safe enough. We always need to push forward. As Dean said, we do a lot of workarounds to make sure that the system is working as intended and we keep the traffic, the passengers and cargo moving. There needs to be that next step forward in safety where we get the technology that supports the human element, the air traffic controllers, the pilots. We absolutely need that next investment and that push forward to the next level for all of us to continue the safe operation and make it safer.
Can you speak a little bit about how having the 2 pilots helped with the reaction times to some of the near misses, why it was critical to have 2 pilots as opposed to 1?
I mean, just as we talked about the Austin incident, if there was only 1 pilot there, the first officer wouldn't have identified the Southwest jet on the runway. Let's take the Alaska incident. While it's still an investigation underway, can you imagine having a door panel come off an airplane in flight with only 1 person in the flight deck at that time to manage that situation? Let's take ground operations, surface operations, where you have 2 people at least, some of international operations more. Somebody needs to have their eyes outside at all times. You're a pilot, you understand that. Eyes outside while somebody else may be looking down at a chart. You know, how do we get from A to B? We don't work at the same airport every day. So we'll go to an airport, it may be our first time there, where we have to, somebody's heads down, another pilot needs to be heads up, looking out and seeing where we're going and monitoring the technology. You know, there's technology right around the corner that will give us more situational awareness on the ground. But if someone's looking at that situational awareness display to see what other airplanes are, that means somebody else needs to be looking out the window.
And in the Alaska airline door plug incident, one of the pilot's headsets was actually ripped off in the middle of that incident from the wind gust. Mr. Sparrow, if we're stuck relying on these unsustainable critical air traffic control systems for many more years, how much harder will it be for your personnel to maintain them? And are you confident we'll have enough parts and a workforce with enough experience to do so?
Senator, thank you for the question. So I'll start out by saying I like the way Captain Ambrosi talked about workarounds. That is essentially what our folks do every day when they don't have spare parts. They find ways to make these systems work. They look for the spare parts. They have to dig into the FAA system to see if they can get them refurbished. It will become more difficult as time goes on. Moving forward, they have to have the ability and the training, the staffing as well. We've had incidents in various places where we have the equipment, we have the spare parts, yet we don't have the right people in the right place at the right time to restore systems. In Chicago, earlier this year, we had a ground stop because we did not have a trained technician available on shift to be able to exclude a software problem that effectively caused the controllers to not know where the aircraft were. Once that person came in, they fixed it in 2 minutes. But all of these things fall together. It's going to become more difficult as time goes on. We have to have the personnel, we have to have the parts, we have to have the training. It breaks our members' hearts to not be able to sustain the air traffic control system the way they want to.
Thank you. I now recognize Ranking Member and incoming Chairman Cruz for his question line.